And as the news of young Dolph spread, people began showing up to the crime scene. An emotional time with people hoping against hope that the news was not true.
Good in the neighborhood, always give it back to this neighborhood, always give it back to his community. And it's a great loss, man, for this city to suffer a loss this big like this, man.
Until y'all get y'all a new job, till y'all find y'all a new job, I got 20,000 for y'all right now.
I want like that to go on, like lives to be changed. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get this person 25,000, oh now, you know it's like ain't no telling. You know what I'm saying? Like they whole families like probably benefit 20, 30 people.
Did you know he had that much love? I've never seen some this. They've literally been Memphis for 3 straight years since young Dolph died. I've never seen.
Memphis, a city known for its music and culture, is now synonymous with danger. But why? The answer lies in the death of a man who wasn't just a king, but a prophet. Young Dolph was Memphis's saint, its martyr, and his death unleashed a cycle of vengeance Memphis refuses to break. But why did this happen? And who is responsible?
They got a war down there in Memphis, and we've never seen something like this before. Usually when you the head of the snake body refuses to move or they just dissipate.
Let's uncover how Memphis turned into America's most dangerous city and why the streets won't ever stop sliding for young Dolph. Young Dolph wasn't just another rapper to Memphis, he was its heart and soul. A self-made man who spoke for the people, Dolph built his empire while uplifting his city. To many, he wasn't just their king, he was a prophet, a man who foresaw Memphis's potential and embodied its pride. He spent so much of his time giving back to the community.
This rapper is giving back to the community he says made him who he is today. People stood in line outside Memphis Athletic Ministries ahead of young Dolph's appearance.
But just like the story of Christ, betrayal came from within. Dolph's assassin wasn't an outsider. Streets allege that Yo Gotti, a fellow Memphis legend, orchestrated Dolph's demise. And much like Judas delivering Jesus to the Romans, Gotti's betrayal is said to have involved the Trula Mafia, a local gang tied to Memphis's underground. On November 17, 2001, young Dolph was gunned down in broad daylight at Makeda's Cookies, a spot he often visited to support local businesses. His death shook Memphis to its core, sparking outrage, heartbreak, and something more: revenge.
Tonight, we strongly encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to be out. We also strongly encourage everyone to remain calm as we actively perform our investigation.
Since Dolph's death, Memphis has erupted into chaos, with a wave of violence claiming lives connected to CMG, Gotti's label, and the Trula Mafia. These deaths are more than random acts of violence. To Dolph's loyalists, they're justice for the man they consider Memphis's. Let's dive into the aftermath of Dolph's assassination, how his Zegas transformed him into Memphis's saint, and why the city won't stop sliding until every debt is paid. Young Dolph was more than a rapper. He was a symbol of independence. Born Adolph Thornton Jr., Dolph rejected the mainstream music machine, choosing instead to own his masters and create wealth for himself and his family.
You can have an artist on a record label and he sell 100,000 units. Guess what? He ain't make more money than young Dolph made. You know what I mean? Real talk, he can sell 300,000 units. Guess what? He ain't make more than young Dolph made off that album.
Dolph's lyrics weren't just about flexing, they were about empowerment. He showed the people of Memphis what was possible, how you could rise above your circumstances and make it on your own terms. This is why Memphis adored him. To the city, Dolph was a saint. He gave back constantly, donating to schools, providing Thanksgiving meals, and uplifting local businesses. His loyalty to Memphis was unwavering, and the city felt the same. Truth is, Dolph never even had intentions of becoming as big a rapper as he became. Matter of fact, he didn't even want to be rapping from the get-go, but he messed around and dropped a couple tracks and things took off. As a hustler, the smart move was to follow the money, so his career became reality.
It was, but I wasn't never supposed to be the rapper. My little brother supposed to be the rapper. Know what I mean? Like I was never supposed to be the rapper.
So you was on your CEO.
But I was never supposed to be the rapper.
After making waves in the rap scene, Dolph kept his momentum going by featuring on OT Janace's viral hit, Cut It, and dropping some of his own bangers like Crashing Out and 100 Shots. which was inspired by real-life events we'll dive into later. Dolph took his success to the next level by starting his own record label, Paper Route Empire, Pre-E, where he signed artists like Key Glock and Jay Fizzle. But like every tragic story, there was betrayal. Yo Gotti, another Memphis native, was once seen as a pioneer in the city's rap scene. But tensions between Gotti and Dolph grew, fueled by disses, power plays, and street politics. What really deepened the divide was Dolph's refusal to sign with Gotti's CMG label. Dolph's independence was a direct threat to Gotti's dominance. Allegedly, this rivalry turned deadly.
The facts is just, I'm the biggest rapper from Memphis. I actually was helping them. I really just wanted to sign them, you know what I mean? Giving them advice, letting them come out on my shows. You know what I'm saying? Like telling them how the game goes.
It all began in 2014 when young Dolph, riding high on the success of his mixtape, High Class Street Music for American Gangster, caught the attention of Yo Gotti, a Memphis rap veteran and the head of the CMG label. Gotti saw Dolph's potential and extended an offer to sign him to CMG, a move that seemed logical considering Gotti's influence and Dolph's rising buzz. But Dolph had other plans. Fiercely independent and determined to carve his path, he declined the deal. This decision, while strategic for Dolph's career, created a subtle tension between the two. Dolph later hinted that Gotti didn't take the rejection well, suggesting it bruised the CMG boss's ego. While Gotti remained mostly silent on the matter, Dolph's stance on independence and self-reliance became a defining part of his identity, one that fans admired but also understood might ruffle feathers in an industry built on alliances and power dynamics. Things took a more public turn in February 2016 when Dolph tweeted a cryptic but clearly targeted message. Bra went from being my #1 fan and wanting to sign me to being my biggest hater. Though Dolph didn't name Yo Gotti directly, the implication was clear, especially to fans familiar with their history. This tweet sparked widespread speculation and set the stage for what was to come. The following week, Dolph dropped his debut album, King of Memphis. Alone was a bold move, as Yo Gotti had long been associated with the moniker King of Memphis, a title he earned through years of dominance in the city's rap scene. For Dolph to release an album with that title was seen by many as a direct challenge to Gotti's authority and legacy in their hometown. While Gotti refrained from openly addressing the provocation, the tension between the two became an unspoken reality in Memphis, dividing fans and creating a buzz around Dolph's unapologetic rise. As the rivalry simmered, Black Youngster, one of Yo Gotti's most vocal artists, inserted himself into the conflict. On March 2nd, 2016, Black Youngster posted a video on Instagram, hurling insults at Dolph and questioning his claim to the King of Memphis title.
He ain't no motherfucking king of Memphis, he ain't king of South Memphis, he ain't from the city. Hey man, I'ma keep this cheap, bro. Dolph, you a soft ass, you nice ass. If you got a problem, say you got a problem.
He didn't stop there. Later that day, Youngster and his crew showed up in Dolph's South Memphis neighborhood, flaunting guns and recording their visit as a show of intimidation. Fortunately, nothing escalated further, but the act was seen as a dangerous escalation of what had started as a musical rivalry. Dolph didn't back down. Weeks later, he took to Instagram to accuse Gotti of orchestrating the situation. In a fiery post, Dolph claimed Gotti was upset about him refusing to sign with CMG and accused him of sending Black Youngster to do his dirty work. Dolph went further, alleging that Gotti had a history of undermining other Memphis legends like 3-6 Mafia and 8 Ball and MJG. Dolph's words were bold and unfiltered, making it clear he wasn't afraid of the conflict or the consequences.
Why you mad at me? Cause you don't fake watch busters and you had to fake it till you make it. And I came in the game rocking real ice driving coupes and
As tensions grew, the feud shifted into music. Black Youngster released a diss track titled Shake Some on March 17, 2016, aimed squarely at Dolph. In the song, Youngster questioned Dolph's Memphis roots, accusing him of being from Chicago rather than the city he claimed to represent. And the track was aggressive, but Dolph wasn't one to shy away from a challenge. In February 2017, he responded with Play With Your Beat, a track that didn't just diss Yo Gotti. It went for the jugular.
play with me. Don't do that. Play with your.
Dolph made personal attacks, accusing Gotti of being jealous of his success and even claiming to have been involved with the mother of Gotti's child. The song was brutal, and the internet erupted, with fans dissecting every line and debating who was winning the war of words. But the beef wasn't confined to diss tracks. It spilled into real life in alarming ways. On February 25, 2017, Dolph was the target of a shooting in Charlotte, North Carolina. Over 100 bullets were fired at his SUV, but he emerged unharmed thanks to the vehicle being bulletproof. While no one was officially implicated, many speculated that the attack was tied to the feud. The incident marked a chilling escalation, turning what had been a lyrical battle into a life-threatening conflict. Despite the rising tension, Yo Gotti largely avoided engaging publicly. He focused on his music and business ventures, partnering with industry giants like Jay-Z and maintaining his image as a seasoned veteran. However, Gotti did release the track Don't Beef With Me in 2017, featuring Black Youngsta and Moneybagg Yo. Though Gotti didn't name Dolph, the song was widely interpreted as a response to the ongoing feud, with its lyrics serving as a warning to rivals. The rivalry between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti became a defining narrative in Memphis rap, one that highlighted the complexities of competition, pride, and legacy. For Dolph, his independence was his badge of honor, a testament to his refusal to compromise his vision. For Gotti, the feud was a reminder that even established stars could feel challenged by the next generation. Tragically, Young Dolph's life was cut short in 2021 when he was shot and offed in Memphis.
And as the news of Young Dolph's spread, people began showing up to the crime scene. An emotional time with people hoping against hope that the news was not true.
Now the streets talk, and they say Yo Gotti's older brother, Anthony Big Juke Mims, played a significant role. Reports suggest he offered $100,000 to take Dolph out. Adding fuel to the fire are the alleged ties between CMG and the Trula Mafia, a Memphis gang implicated in Dolph's MDare. But Dolph's death didn't silence him. It amplified his message. He became a martyr for Memphis, and his legacy grew larger than life.
Did you know he had that much love? I've never seen some like this. They've literally been Memphis for 3 straight years since Young Dolph died. I've never seen some.
Memphis mourned, but it also vowed never to forget. The city began to see Dolph as a symbol of what could have been a brighter future snuffed out by jealousy and greed. And with this, the streets declared war. But while the legal system is finally bringing some justice for Young Dolph, the streets have been handling things their own way ever since the day he was offed. The moment Dolph was taken down, the streets erupted. His crew didn't waste any time. They were ready to get revenge immediately, taking out anyone who was involved or even had the nerve to mock Dolph's death. The first target was a grim example of what was in store for anyone involved in Young Dolph's MDare, or connected to those responsible. Comedian Darian D. Moneychilds made the mistake of joking about Dolph's passing in an online post. Just a week later, he was already gunned down. His unaliving marked the beginning of a streak of revenge that couldn't be stopped. In January 2022, another high-profile target was taken out. Big Nusky, a rapper signed to Moneybagg Yo and cousin of Big 30, was shot at the New Horizon River Apartments on Kazasa Road around 7 p.m. When the shooting stopped, a 26-year-old man lay dead. Big Nusky was said to be connected to Justin Johnson, aka Straight Drop, one of the main suspects in Dolph's unalivement. This connection was speculated based on photos showing both of them standing in front of the same car. After Big Nusky's death, Straight Drop posted a picture of him online, captioned, "Lost my brother fighting to keep my head up." The pain was real, but Dolph's people weren't finished yet. Straight Drop and the others charged with Dolph's unalivement allegedly had ties not only to CMG and Yo Gotti, but also to the Memphis gang Trula Mafia. The OG of this gang, Joshua Taylor, aka CEO Teezy, was also on the cops' radar for the Dolph hit. However, Teezy wouldn't be around much longer. On June 14, 2023, officers responded to a call about a man down at Spotswood Avenue near Bunton Street at 12:56 p.m. They found Taylor suffering from gunshot wounds, dead at the scene. Reports suggested that he had actually been shot the night before and was discovered lifeless in a car near a church around 1 p.m.
Taylor, also known as CEO Teezy, was found shot to death in Orange Mound Wednesday at Spotswood and Bunton. Those who live nearby tell us Taylor was actually shot the night before, discovered lifeless.
News outlets labeled Teezy as a high-profile gang member, and linked him publicly to the group that unalived Dolph. YouTube journalist King Ake even speculated that Straight Drop would have needed Teezy's go-ahead to carry out the hit on Dolph, implying that by taking out Teezy, Dolph's crew was eliminating a key figure.
Teezy ain't just no gang member. Teezy was the head of Trula Mafia. If anybody that's in Trula got anything to do with Young Dolph's death, Justin Johnson. Teezy at the end of the day gives the okay.
The cycle of revenge didn't stop there. The next shocking casualty was a female rapper, Destiny Golden, aka Lotta Cash Desto. Her unalivement demonstrated that no one was off limits. On September 24th, 2022, Desto was with a female friend in the 5500 block of Richmond Avenue around 2:40 a.m. when they stopped behind a dark 4-door vehicle at a traffic light. Two male shooters emerged from the dark vehicle, walked up to Desto's car, and opened fire, K-ing Desto and injuring her passenger. This brutal attack led many to believe it was another act of retribution for Young Dolph's demise. In a twist that nobody saw coming, another person linked to orchestrating Young Dolph's hit was none other than Lotta Cash Desto's father, Hernandez Govan.
Well, at least 5 police sources have confirmed with Fox 13 that the person is Anthony Mims, also known as Big Jook. Now, Big Jook is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti.
Govan has been indicted and is in custody for being involved in the Young Dolph. He played the role of the person who solicited.
After he was arrested, he posted online, hinting that his own actions might have led to his daughter's tragic death. It seemed like the pieces of this deadly puzzle were falling into place, with every new victim connecting back to Dolph's demise. Dolph's people were relentless, and their next target proved just that. On August 18, 2023, the Memphis Police Department reported that gunfire erupted around 9:30 a.m. at a BP gas station on South Parkway East. Officers responded to the scene and found a man with a fatal gunshot wound, Manuel Benson, Black Youngster's brother. The shooter didn't even bother masking up, and the police had a clear image of him, which they released to the public along with a $5,000 reward for information. This brazen hit, carried out in broad daylight, was another message that Dolph's crew wasn't playing around. Manuel's death pointed fingers straight at Paper Route Empire, Dolph's crew. Black Youngster had a long-standing beef with Dolph, initially inherited from Yo Gotti. Back in 2017, Black Youngster was arrested for an attempt on Dolph's life when over 100 shots were fired at Dolph's black SUV. The feud between Black Youngster and Dolph had been intense, with Black Youngster always ready for a showdown.
Right now, cuz. We in Castain right now, cuz. What Dolph at, cuz? Where he at, blood? Where he at? Where he at right now? Where he at? Where he at? Where he at?
Now he was left to grapple with the pain and anger of losing his brother, caught up in the vicious cycle of revenge allegedly carried out by Dolph's people. Memphis hasn't forgotten who they believe is responsible. The streets whisper Yo Gotti's name, tying him to Trula Mafia and Dolph's demise. The gang, seen as a subsidiary of CMG, allegedly played a direct role in executing the hit. While Gotti denies these claims, the streets aren't convinced. They see the cycle of violence as justice, a reckoning for the man they consider Memphis's Judas. This isn't just about revenge, it's about preserving Dolph's legacy. To Memphis, avenging Dolph is honoring the saint who gave them hope. Young Dolph's death didn't just mark the loss of a man, it marked the beginning of a war. Memphis sees Dolph as more than a king. They see him as their prophet, their martyr. And just like any martyr, his story doesn't end with his death. It lives on in the hearts of the people who refuse to let his memory fade.